Hello, Kazelkin here. Welcome to the first video on my channel and the first video in my Beginner to Pro series, or what I'm tentatively calling the Beginner to Pro series, which is where I'm aiming to go from being an absolute beginner in coding to hopefully at some point in the not too distant future being a pro at coding. I'm planning on doing this with 0 hours experience in both coding and high maths, so I haven't done any coding before. I haven't touched anything like that before. I haven't done any of this kind of learning before, and I also haven't studied maths as a kind of like academic discipline since I was 16. So I'm 28 now, so that was 12 years ago for me now. So I know a lot of people say that to learn how to code you need a maths background, or it's going to really help. Well, we're going to be able to put it to the test now because I do not have a maths background and I'm not particularly good at maths. So we'll be able to see just how far I'm able to get, or whether or not that becomes a problem later down the line. I'm planning on doing everything from home, so I'm going to be using entirely home-based learning resources. So everything that I use, everything that I have on my computer is going to be things that anyone who also has a computer will be able to get either for free or for a small subscription fee. So what I'm doing really should be, you really should be able to replicate this. This at home if you've got a computer, basically. So anyone can do this as well. I have done something similar before. When I was 18, I was not a particularly academic kid. I didn't do particularly well in school, and I was what you might call in America a high school dropout when I was 16. So I left mainstream education when I was 16, went off to do something else, and then came back to school when I was 18 with really poor grades at the time, and decided to try and turn it around, and decided to try and to really stick in with my studies, and I ended up getting into Cambridge University in quite a short amount of time as well. So went from being not academic at all to Cambridge in a really short span of time. And I'm hoping that all the skills that I learned when I was doing that, and all the things about them that helped me make that transformation, is also going to help me do this kind of beginner to pro journey with coding as well. And hopefully there's going to be some tips and tricks that you can pick up on the way as well, for anyone that might be interested in either doing this themselves or just interested in how the journey goes, and see whether or not I actually end up being successful in doing this. Having already done it successfully, I think it's going to serve me in good stead. So I'm perhaps a little better equipped than some after having already done something similar to this before, and having gotten I think what you would consider good results as well. A bit of background on myself. I'm a 28-year-old bloke living in England. I spent 6 or 7 years training to become a solicitor, so that includes uni and then all of the kind of like required law schooly type courses that you have to do if you want to be a solicitor in England. And now that I'm just coming to the end of that, and I'm just coming up to qualification, so I've finally done it, made it over the hurdle. Now I've decided to move back to the northeast and leave the law firm that I was at in London. And do something completely different, which is what I'm going to be doing here. This learning how to code practice. So it's going to be a complete change of pace for me. I'm going to be working from home. Obviously, you can see I'm in my room at my desk. So this is where I'm going to be spending a lot of my time. In terms of going forward, I plan to upload regular update videos, showing people where I've gone to, all the things that I've learned, the issues I've encountered, and the resources that I've used. A practice that I intend to take forward as well is I plan to, in these regular update videos, give you timestamps of how much time I've spent on different tasks or different resources. So anytime I start a task, I'm going to use an app that I've got. It's kind of a timer app, and it's got lots of different stopwatches on it. So I will hit a timer whenever I start a particular problem set that I found online, or I start reading a particular book or a particular resource, or I start watching a video, or at this timer that I just spend working on a project that I'm on. I'm going to time everything, and then in these update videos I'm going to show you all my timestamps for the week, so you'll be able to see how much time I'm spending on all of these individual tasks and problems. So you can see, well, first of all, how much time I'm spending coding in any given week, so how much of my week am I actually spending on my computer doing this, but then also how I'm breaking down that time, and whether or not I'm doing things efficiently or not. And it might also help you improve your efficiency as well if you're out there doing it if you're either doing it at home, you can use my timestamps as a kind of roadmap to see if you're spending way more time on a particular thing than I am, or if maybe I'm underspending time on a particular problem, and maybe that'll turn around and bite me in the ass later on. So that should just be a useful resource, I think, for anyone who's planning on doing this at home, or anyone who's interested in how this process goes, learning something completely from scratch. It should act as a useful tool to see whether or not I'm procrastinating, and whether or not I'm wasting my time, or whether or not I'm spending my time really well. This is a hangover from my very recent days as a lawyer. Working at the law firm, we would have to, anytime we started a matter for a client, we'd have to hit one of these timers. So we had a similar app as well, and if I was writing an email of advice that might take me 2 or 3 hours, I'd write that out, and I'd time to try and be as exact as I could with the timing as well, so that the client can then be billed for that amount of time that I spent. So I'm really just planning on continuing to do something that I've been doing for years now anyway. And hopefully that'll add some structure to my week as well, because I obviously don't have a boss now. I'm working from home. I don't have targets or anything like that. So it's going to be a useful way of me kind of holding myself accountable at the end of the week. If I turn around and see that I've only done like 15 hours worth of work in a week, when really it should be if I wanted to make the most of my time, it should be a lot more than that. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Hopefully that'll be useful for you guys as well. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for upcoming videos.